Well, a very good evening to you all, race fans, and welcome along to Talladega Superspeedway for round 8 of the Virtual Racing Aotearoa NASCAR Truck Series, brought to you by System Decal. Tonight we go for 80 laps around the famous racetrack, so famous it had a Will Ferrell movie named after it. Of course, the Talladega Nights, the legend of Ricky Bobby, shake and bake. Something about being all hopped up on Mountain Dew. And tonight we have a great field, 31 in the server. Not all have qualified by choice, I would imagine. But let's have a look and see what we've got. We are getting ready to get underway here, as cars grid up. So, having a look at the grid for this evening. We start with Bryce Harding on pole, Hadley Boyce off 2, Luke Dilworth 3rd, Stuart Patterson 4th, Ethan Curran 5th, Jamie Harding 6th, Matthew Stables 7, Cohen Thompson 8, Corbin Burke in 9, Hayden Guptill in 10, Caden Barker in 11, Phil King in 12. Dare I say it, it's a bit of an iridium party up the front between Boyce, Patterson, Curran and Stables. Flicking over the page, we have Lockie Brett in 13, Stefan Tiers, Hayden Millings, Dylan Cook, Paul McKenzie, Daniel Johnston, Marcus Scott, Willie McClune, Josh Murdens, Logan Howard. Another page we go, and that will show us Brock Mackney, Ethan Cale, Matt Howard, Xavier Simmons, Jamie Yarnmark, Aidan Gregory, Brady Stanley, Terry Leverage Watkins, and Mark Grover. So 31 cars tonight, 80 laps the distance, stage at the 30th. Looks like everybody has gridded up now. And of course, one of the beautiful things about this great racetrack, the reason why it's a fan favorite for everybody, just because you start it doesn't mean you'll still be on that in 80 laps time. There is a long, well, it is a long race, and anything, truly anything could happen between now and lap 80. You would like to think that most would take things fairly calmly. You would imagine that everyone will keep things nice and calm for the first few laps. You would hope as much. However, we all know in iRacing that's not always how this really goes. As we see, look at those cars. And of course, this one here will say a lot about who will make it in for the Tier 1 playoffs. Murdens sits in 8th. Stoven 9th, Phil King in 10th, Paul McKenzie 11th. Cut-off line, I can't quite remember where it is. I'll double check that. So we jump into the cockpit with Bryce Harding. As the safety car pulls in and we get ready to go here at Talladega Super Speedway. Pack nice and bunched up. Just slowly rolling around. And we are green here at Talladega. Bryce Harding in the 79 leads us off with Hadley Boyce, the 727 on his outside. Stuart Patterson right behind him. And Luke Dilworth right behind Harding, of course. Teammates have done a lot of racing together. Harding and Dilworth. It'll be interesting to see. Talladega, one of those tracks where you could get a third lane going if you wanted to. It would be early days. It would be very, very early days to get a third lane going here. But it is possible. How early will we see it happen tonight? I do not know. You see that bottom lane just getting quite a bit of a run here. That 54 of Ethan Curran. Fabulous colour scheme with the hot pink and the hot yellow. And that lower line just has to run as well as we see. I believe that was Lockie Brett move up just a little bit out of the lane. Together though. See here, kind of looks as if though that outer lane, Jamie Harding in the 171, there was a couple of moments where I thought he might try to go start a third lane. As we see there in the background, Hayden Guptill makes a nice move, gets down into the bottom lane. Up the front, the 11 of Caden Barker shuffles in front of Boyce up the top side. With 3 wide right at the back there. Oh, it's happened already. Who was that? We are yellow, I believe. Simmons and Johnston. Yeah. Oh, as we see some back markers come flying through and almost collect them. Oh, it's already gone wrong here. Poor Xavier Simmons and Daniel Johnston. Should we have a look? Sort of saw that in the background as we go and have a look. So Daniel Johnston up the top side, and the 04. What's happening here? So we sort of see people getting a little bit messy. The 61 makes it. Oh yeah, that was all she wrote. So looking at it, I think we'll have a look on a different angle. So if we take a look at it from a different angle here. So who's the 61? That'll be Willie McClone. And he's right on the back of that pack. And it looks like Xavier Simmons is just... I don't know if maybe he had too much speed and was trying not to punt somebody, or if he, spotters let him down and he just had no idea that Daniel Johnston was down there. But he's just come up in front of him. And that was that. So he's still out there, but that will be our first caution of the evening. Xavier Simmons and Daniel Johnston, unlucky for them. I really don't know what to make of that one. I can only assume that he's not had the help from the spotter. Yeah. And he's had absolutely no idea that Daniel Johnston was up there. As we see Ethan Curran, Matthew Stables, Hadley Boyce, Stuart Patterson all dive into pit lane. Marcus Scott, Stefan Tiers goes down as well. few cars here all diving into pit lane. There's Xavier Simmons and the Daniel Johnston. Oh, we've almost had a doozy. Terry Leveridge-Watkins jumps on the brakes there and checks up Brady Stanley and others. So, who have we had? Ethan Curran, Matthew Stables, Hadley Boyce, Stuart Patterson, Hayden Guptill, Marcus Scott, Stefan Tears, Matt Howard, Logan Howard, Ethan Cale, Mark Grover, Xavier Simmons, Daniel Johnston, Terry Leveridge-Watkins, Jamie Armant, Brady Stanley, Aidan Gregory, all entered pit lane on that cycle. Presumably just making the most of getting fuel under yellow. Wouldn't read too much into it. And that will shuffle them back. Whether that is the right move, technically, strategically, hard to know. Do you want to be up the front running with all the lead guys this early? Do you want to risk potentially ending up as Xavier Simmons and Daniel Johnston just did in the back? I don't know if I personally would want to be far back in the field this early in the race, but I also suck. So, what do I know? Not a lot is the answer to that. So, we follow around under caution still. It'll be Harding, Dilworth, Bork, Barker, Brett, Millings, McKenzie, Harding, Thompson, King, your top 10 when we return to green flag racing here at Dega. As we see cars... Oh, actually, I tell a lie. Lockie Brett's now decided to jump into the pit lane. Presumably wanting to get himself back with some of those fast lane boys further back in the pack. Have a look behind Bryce Harding. So we see that capital RC of Luke Dilworth in the 63 on the outside and Corbin Burke, two green cars right behind him. Of course, great to see Ram back in the NASCAR trucks as well. And here, just a bit of accelerate and then let off and coast on the engine. Helping to save a bit of fuel. It's early days, but it could mean a lot come the end of things here. It looks like Hayden Millings has completely toned the paint scheme down this week. Well, he's probably did it a previous week and I was just too lazy or hungover to stream, but he's completely toned it down this week. First time I've seen that tamer livery from Millings. So we have two Sigma cars at the front. See Mr. System Decal himself in the 35 there just to the right of our screens. Of course, Virtual Racing Aotearoa NASCAR Trucks brought to you by System Decal, and we thank Josh for his contributions and support of the series and Virtual Racing Aotearoa in general. As the pace car pulls in, restart will be Bryce Harding's. Of course, awaiting the restart zone here at Dega. And we are green and racing again here at Talladega. Harding off to a great start. Corbin Burke's fallen asleep at the wheel and completely missed it. And that has allowed Caden Barker and Luke Dilworth to immediately dive from the top down into the bottom and get into that bottom lane. So now it'll be Dilworth right on the rear bumper of Harding, pushing him along. As we see, are we maybe going to go 3? No. Yes. Maybe. No. Oh, Stanley in the background getting a little bit squirrely there. But we're all calm. Mertens with the 18 M car right on his backside. Bit of a push there. Stables in behind that. Oh, is it going to get? Everyone's moving around quite a bit there. As we see at the front, it's all calm for Harding, Dilworth and Barker, but when we get back to this main pack now, being led by Millings and Burke, it is anything but calm. Looks as if though they have sorted it out now. The movement from Mertens there. A few bumps from the 18 was actually Dylan Cook, I believe. 08 on the timing, obviously, but 18 on the livery. As we see Barker move up in front of that front row, great move. That 18 of Dylan Cook is all over the rear bumper of Mr. System Decal. Oh, and that's an aggressive move down into the bottom lane by one of the Hex Energy Iridium Sim Sports cars. That'll be Stuart Patterson, I believe, with that move down to the bottom lane. It was indeed in the 197. Hard to tell. Those colours are very similar between Matthew Stables and Stuart Patterson, although one is technically purple and the other is technically pink. Very similar shades. As we see, who's that in the yellow capital RC? That is, of course, Willie McClone trying to get a third lane going. Is anybody going to go up there with him, or is he just going to stay outside cruising? That top lane has closed the gap that existed between Dilworth and Harding and the rest of the pack. It is well and truly closed up now. It doesn't look like anybody's brave enough to go up there and help McClone. He's flying solo at the moment. Still no help up high side for McClone. Dylan Cook has just been attached to that rear bumper of Josh Mertens the whole time. So Willie McClune's dropped himself down into the lane now. As we see Dylan Cook and Josh Mertens, a lot of movement between these two cars. Not sure it's quite necessary 10 laps into an 80-lap race at Talladega, but you do you, boys. Quite aggressive on the bumping from Dylan Cook. You see 3 wide in the background, and it looked like a Brady Stanley in that group right at the back. We've calmed it down. Oh, so we've got a blinker in the top lane. That is never a good sign. That makes it really hard on everybody involved. It'll be one of the Iridium Sim Sports boys. Hex Energy Iridium Sim Sport. Who is it? 52. Ethan Pale. Boy going on in the background as Hadley Boyce moves up to the high side now in that 727. I think he hoped Willie McClone would go with him. Willie did initially look like he was thinking about it, but chose not to and has stayed down. And we see Hadley Boyce go, actually, no, fair enough, no one's going to come with me, maybe we'll move down. But now Willie McClone's going, hold on, let's go, come on then. And Hadley Boyce has read it and he's jumped on, and Willie has leapfrogged the 52 and left Hadley Boyce out there high and dry. Well, Willie McClone moves up again. Nope, he's going to pull back into the lane. As we see, is Dylan Cook going to try and get a third lane going now? No, maybe not. So at the front, it remains Harding, Dilworth, Millings, McKenzie, Bork and Barker. Cook still all over the back of Mertens. And Hadley Boyce has just dropped completely down the order here because he's been hung out to dry. He's misread the lanes completely. And He's fallen well back. He was right up around that sort of 12th place, and now he's dropped all the way back down to 26. Remember, he started P2, so he's dropped 23 spots since the start now. And that'll happen here at Talladega. If you lose the lane and you lose that draft and you get hung out to dry, it can very quickly make things not work in your favour. As we see Matthew Stables here on the high side trying to get the third lane going. The 013 of Marcus Scott has gone with him. Behind we've got Ethan Cale. We are 3-ish wide. Oh, big move by the 313 of Brock Magny there. Almost caught out one of those Hex Energy boys, but they've managed to read it and adjust. Things are getting spicy. Willie McClune leads that top lane. Hayden Guptill in behind him. Dylan Cook is no longer all over the rear bumper of Josh Murdens, and we're 3 wide down the back straight. So, Dylan Cook moves up high there. Willie McClune's done a good job to keep it off the wall. Ethan Cale moves up in the background, up to behind Guptill. McClune moves back up into that high lane. We kind of lost the 3 wide, but it's coming back. Maybe. We'll see Barker deciding if he's going to go as well. Chooses not to, settles back in. So the 2 wide at the front, and then we go to Stables. No, that'll be Patterson. Sorry, I told you the Hex Energy cars were sitting on numbers. But we'll be 3 wide on the back straight. Willie McClune leads that top lane. As we see a big move from the bottom to the top by the 054. That'll be Cohen Thompson going from the low side to the high side, moves across both lanes of traffic, settles down back into that middle lane now. But what a move! If you've been keeping up with any of the Cletus McFarlane Racing, ARCA and Xfinity or O'Reilly series, you might have seen a clip of his pit crew telling him to put his nuts on the dash, and that is exactly what Cohen Thompson did there with that move. He put his nuts right on the dash, up to the high side. We are halfway through the stage now, folks. And we can see we've well and truly got this lead pack now. A lot of drivers that have just fallen off at the backside. And Dylan Cook all over the bumper of Caden Barker here, who leads the high lane. Settles back in. Lots of moving around. Guptill moves down into the second lane. Harding continues to lead it from Dilworth, from Bork, from Millings, from Murdens, McKenzie, Cale, Patterson, Stables, Boyce, Harding, Scott. That is your top 12 right now. Barker moves down a little bit there. Scott, I think it was, but it's all good. They settle down. And look how close to the wall Barker and Cook are with McClune behind on that high side. As we see the 171 just come up a little bit off that bottom line. Some great racing here. There's nothing silly being done by anyone. See that sort of middle lane moving a fair bit, sort of see them sort of off the corner. You see Stables there float up a little bit and get Barker, and then he brings himself back down in front of Boyce's. Boyce going to move? No. What Boyce thought about trying to go up top there, as we see here, a 3 wide pack approaching a lap car very, very quickly. This could end horribly. As we see Marcus Scott get a little bit squirrely there. He managed to catch it, but we just saw there he broke away just a little bit in the rear end and snapped off. Who is that lap car? That's Lockie Brett, I believe. So, if you're Lockie Brett right now, you're probably sitting there thinking, uh-oh. Because that is a lot of race cars coming at him very quickly. You'd be staring in the rear view mirror and you'd be puckering. No doubt about it, you'd be puckering. As we say, he's going to make his intentions really clear here. Given we are 3 wide, he needs to make his intentions super clear as to where he's going. It looked like he moved right up high. See most of the pack getting through. Now this top lane's going to get interesting though. Dylan Cook, Willie McClune, and 154, we're 4 wide with the lap car. Where's the 154 going? I don't think he realised Lockie Brett is a lap car. Oh! That was spicy. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's it. We're done. Willie McClune and Dylan Cook. I missed it, I'll be honest. I was trying to figure out who the 154 was. Marcus Scott in there as well. Hayden Guptill. Guptill's done. Toad. Oh, what a shame. Let's go have a look. Let's go have a look. Oh yeah, Willie McClune's been munched there. Marcus Scott got held up. So there's Cook, Scott, McClune. See Guptill up the front there. We went really quick, so let's watch it again. So we see there, so... Oh, it's not a very good camera angle. Let's try this one. So Dylan Cook sort of comes down. Yeah, right. Okay. Let's back this up. Let's back this up. Quarter speed. So Dylan Cook in front of McClune. McClune right on that rear bumper. And it looks as if though... Yeah, so you see Dylan Cook's, the truck's really unsettled there and he's moving all around and it looks like McClune might have just picked him up a little bit. It's unsettled him. That's made him come down into the 013 of Marcus Scott, which has then made Scott go up, push Cook through. As we see, trucks flying. Oh, nope, not quite all 4 wheels off the ground. Did keep 2 of them. And Guptill gets involved as well. Marcus Scott and Guptill, passengers in that one. We're right on board with poor Hayden Guptill. And we can see here, so Guptill driving along, happy days. You see that Cook car come down. You see the 013 getting all scrawly, and that was all she wrote for Hayden Guptill. So, that changes some things around. So we say, oh, hit the right buttons, Cam, why don't you? So, we see everyone flying back out of the pits. Here's who went in them. Corbin Burke, Josh Murdens, Ethan Cale, Caden Barker, Ethan Curran, Logan Howard, Brock McNee, Cohen Thompson, Mark Grover, Aidan Gregory, Daniel Johnston, Marcus Scott, Dylan Cook, Willie McClune, Terry Leverage Watkins, Matt Howard, Ethan Cale, Josh Murdens, Mark Grover, Logan Howard. I think I've started repeating myself now. I have. So, that's who went in the pits. Bryce Harding and Luke Dilworth have still not pitted once this race. as it stands currently. So, Harding, Dilworth, Millings, McKenzie, Patterson. Also Harding. Just realised we have 2 Hardings. Been asleep at the wheel. Stables, King, Boyce, Tears. That is your top 10. We are a quarter of the way through race tonight. 20 laps in, 80 the distance. And we still have not had the stage yet. That has another, wow, be probably 8 laps to the stage once we get through this piece here. Why is my sound settings being weird? Oh. Pace car pulls in. Second caution of the evening. Restart will be with Harding. And he is going. So Harding, Millings, Dilworth, Patterson, McKenzie, Harding, Stables. Itself potentially immediately, it seems, or everybody's just decided they're not going to help Boyce and McKenzie. All right, there we go. Teammate in the Hex Energy. That'll be Logan Howard. Jumps down into the middle lane to help Boyce, and he's going, sorry, bro. See you later, as Boyce moves down into the bottom lane. So Paul McKenzie has been hung out to dry in the middle lane. Alright, looks like Stanley has moved down, so now it is 1 Gregory and the 12 of Howard that have been hung out to dry. On the top side, Ethan Cale moves up to try and get in behind the teammate, give a bit of momentum and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Harding, Dilworth, Millings, Patterson, that is your top 4. They control the single lane. And it's really single file proceedings through until we get down to sort of P11, 12 here. And then it's just really messy. There's no other way to put it. We've got Stanley up high. Behind him, he's got Gregory and Howard. Merlin's in the middle. No one right behind him now. Barker and Curran sort of controlling that low side for where these guys are. And who's that in the middle? 717. Stefan Tiers just had no help. Now Howard and Kale move down and bridge that gap between Stefan Tiers and Mordant. So he's got some friends here now. Is Howard going to move up in front of Stanley? No, stays where he is. Top side need to get something going. Because that bottom lane is well and truly checked out. You can see there just how far ahead Bryce Harding and Luke Dilworth are from these sort of, no, I don't want to call them back markers, that feels really rude, but you know, they're not the front, but they're not the front. They're really far in that forward front group. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a dick. So, as we see there, Boyce moves up. Stables moves with him. Howard and Kale go as well. Stefan Tiers currently sits in the middle of an Iridium Sim Sports X Energy sandwich. They're going to try and take control of that top lane. Is teammate Patterson currently in 4th? Going to go up and join them. You'd think he'd jump up there. They've got to run. So all of a sudden, that group of 4 at the front. Is he going to move? See if Patterson jumps up in front of his team who are leading that top lane train. Is the opportunity gone? No, it's not. He could go. Is he going to though? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe not. As we see 3 wide in the background there. So Ethan Kale and Logan Howard, 2 of the Hex Energy Iridium Sim Sports guys, have decided to go up and not stick with that middle train that was being held the run lead by Hadley Boyce and Matthew Stables. Curran now goes up to join them. Opportunity for Patterson to get in front, potentially gone. Unless Hadley backs them up just a little bit. One lap to go until the stage caution will fly. So that's another thing to consider. Lap 30, we're going to have a stage caution, whether you like it or not. So everything happening right now really isn't relevant for another 50 laps because it's Dega. Anything could happen. But it will be stage points. So, as we come across the line here, stage points will go to Harding, Dilworth, Millings, Patterson, Harding, Boyce, McKenzie, Stables, King, and I believe Steers had it. Currently jumped into 10 now. I'm not sure that's where they crossed the line. There's no way to take a snapshot, unfortunately. As we see here now, oh, stage caution must be at the end of this lap, sorry. There it is. Oh, no, that's not the stage caution. I looked away. Instead, that was just massive. What happened there? Oh my God. Was that the big one? Holy, what happened? I missed it. I looked away. Yep. 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 Oh, flying Dilworth. Hold on. Hold on. Whoa. Where was that? Oh, where's he gone? Hold fire. Oh, that was massive for Dilworth. So, all right, let's slow-mo. We're looking at Dilworth. What happens here? So we see Barker on the outside, Stables, Boyce, Curran in that middle lane. Does Curran move up on Barker? I think Barker moves down, Curran moves up. That flicks around Barker, who then collects Dilworth. Dilworth goes down, hooks it back up right in front of Stu Patterson. That picks his rear end up. We've now got the 717. Dilworth's hit the wall. He's flying through the air. Oh, big. Dilworth goes upside down, comes back around, lands on top of Stefan Tiers. Howard caught up in that one as well. Holy. Now, there was a few other passengers in that. Let's see if I can figure out who they all were. Because there was a lot of cars. So I was so focused on Dilworth flying through the air. So, Curran, Barker, Tiers, Dilworth, currently. Kale gets collected there as well. Cage shot on Ethan Kale. Howard then gets collected by the 717 coming down. Says Corbin Burke crashed as well, so I'm going to assume he was somewhere in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, heck, yeah. So we can see in the background there, Corbin Burke backwards. Lost my mouse. So what happened to Burke? A little bit confused. There's no cars near. Oh. No, nothing. Never mind. Just have a look at that one more time. Man, that was big for Dilworth. Wow, that was large. Oh, 313 got caught up as well. Just clipped the back end of Stefan Tiers as he came down the track. Nothing he could do. 023 of Daniel Johnston's been caught in there as well. Man. That was a lot. You see there, man, so unfortunate for Luke Dilworth. Been up in second spot all race. Nothing really to worry about. And then, full Ricky Bobby on flying through the air moment for him. So, that'll override the state. I was checking to make sure I had lap 30 as the stage being correct, because the caution hadn't come out, and then didn't matter anyway. So yeah, so stage was lap 30. So that is correct. As we regrid, we'll have a quick look at... So coming into tonight, Willie McClune leads the championship with 3 race wins from 6 starts. Corey Crossan second, Xavier Simmons tied equal second, Brady Stanley in 4th, Bryce Harding 5th, Daniel Johnston 6th, Logan Howard 7th, Josh Murdens 8th, Devon Stove 9th, Phil King 10th. Now, Crossan is not here, Simmons crashed early, Stanley's still going, Johnston's been in 2 now, Howard's been in 1. Stove not here, and Aidan Gregory and Hayden Millings are right on the cutoff In fact, actually, now that I look at it, Dilworth and Guptill were also right on the cutoff for the Tier 1 playoffs. But Dilworth done. So Dilworth will miss the Tier 1 playoffs, I would imagine. You would assume... to come back out? Just seeing the notes. He has come back out. I would imagine we're going to have at least another yellow or two, which will give us some lucky dogs. But that could have implications on the playoffs. As we go green again here at Talladega. Now Ethan Cale and Marcus Scott with Matt Howard and Terry Leverage Watkins will lead us off. So first time at the front for Matt Howard and Terry Leverage Watkins tonight. Not names that we've really spoken about. They've just been cruising along at the back. But now all of a sudden, with that caution in the pit cycle that's gone through, we now see them up at the front with us. So, good evening to you two lads. It's a bit of an Iridium, X Energy Iridium Sim Sports playground up at the front here. Between Ethan Cale, Matt Howard and Terry Leverage Watkins. From that we have Millings, who is right on the edge of the playoffs here. And so Aiden Gregory's dropped back. I thought Aiden Gregory was around about here as well. I think he was, but he's dropped back now. Because Millings and Gregory currently tied equal for the last spot. Only one of them will get it. Not quite sure what the tiebreaker for that will be. So there are some hurt trucks out there now. Probably some bruised egos and pride as well, to be fair, after that last one. Boyce remains up there in the top 10 cars. Barker, after being part of that last one, also still lurking around in the top 10. Dilworth is back on track, but is down a lap. So we'll need a lucky dog. As we see this front pack trying to decide if we're going to go 3-wide racing again or not, and we definitely are. Mervyn leads the top lane with Hardigan behind him. Middle lane being led by the 013 of Marcus Scott and the 727 of Hadley Boyce behind him. But it will be Ethan Cale, Matt Howard and Terry Leverage Watkins on that low line, leading us around for the completion of this lap here. Completion of lap 36. See Marcus Scott and Hadley Boyce getting a little bit of a run there with the 101 of Mark Grover and Caden Barker in behind. Big move up to the top from Dylan Cook, and now Marcus Scott moves down with Hadley Boyce. Now, he's not in the X Energy Iridium Sim Sport livery, but he is a former team member, Marcus Scott. And I know that he is in Discord with the boys. So those 5 down the bottom on the low side, leading us all in communications this evening with one another. With 44 laps to go here at Dega. Make that 43 as we cross the finish line now. Almost half race distance. We've still got 3 lanes running, but not really. You have to think that Mark Grover and Caden Barker will into one of these other lanes in a moment. I don't imagine they'll be able to stay where they are for much longer, or they're going to lose it. And we see Caden Barker moves up, leaves Mark Grover in the middle, high and dry now. In the background there, the 54 of Ethan Curran moved just under the yellow line, but he's moved back up and held it together on the racetrack. Of course, involved in that last big one, arguably one of the main perpetrators? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say caused it, but it definitely didn't help the situation. And there we go, Mark Grover now in the middle, hung out to drive, although the top side all moved down and kind of swallowed him up and have saved him if he catches on. Daniel Johnston now being left out to dry with Caden Barker. Barker gets down as well, and now it is Daniel Johnston on the outside by himself, high and dry, and falling back as that second line moves and grooves. Is Johnston going to be able to find himself a spot in that lane? No, he's being held out by Dylan Cook, so Johnston just falls right back down there with no gap, although it looks like Cohen Thompson, oh no, he's rejoined, I was going to say, gone up to try and save him. He's rejoined now. And Johnston now in behind with Dylan Cook. So, as we come around for our final lap before half race distance here. Harding moving. Lockie Bredon behind him. That second lane's moving a bit now. As we cross the finish line, that is half race distance, I believe. Could be very wrong, but I'm saying with confidence. With 40 laps to go, it'll be Merdens, Harding, Scott, Brett, Boyce, Cale, Gregory, Howard, Stanley, Barker. The top 10 as we hit the half race distance here at Talladega Super Speedway. Track down the back straight. See that high line just moving and grooving a lot better than that low side there. I know that the 52 of Ethan Cale doesn't have a heck of a lot of experience running NASCAR races just yet on the iRacing platform, so you've got to wonder, because there is that little bit of a gap between him and Boyce compared to what's going on the high side. You've got to wonder if that little bit of inexperience is potentially slowing down that bottom lane. Particularly at a place like this when you've got guys like Merdens, Harding and Brett up the top side who just have so much seat time in these cars and know the art of the draft. But Boyce and Scott get the run down the bottom again. We'll see how they all cross the line this time. It'll be Scott, Merdens, Boyce, Harding, Brett, Cale, as we cross the line that time. So, advantage low side on the completion of that lap. But we get this third lane going. We'll see, I believe that looked like Stefan Tiers, who's just got himself well and truly out of the way. to let everybody through. Good, clean, smart driving there. We love a respectful back marker. And again, advantage low side. Say it again, advantage low side. Oh, I've only just seen it because I'm looking at Facebook at the same time. I completely lied 9 minutes ago. Sorry, Noah. He's definitely not racing anymore because his motor blew, and my timing thing is just absolutely lying to me because his name is still above like he's on track. He's not at all. So, never mind. Interesting. I wonder why it's done that. Anyway. So we see the pack rumbling down the back straight, chasing down. And smart by Logan Howell and Dr. Beckman there, who both just dove under the yellow line. Let that lead pack go, and we see Howard in the background actually dive into pit lane now there. what we run with. Oh, maybe we're going to start a third. No, never mind. Everyone settles back into place. Scott, Boyce, Kale, Howard, Watkins, that bottom lane. Top lane sees Barker, Mertens, Harding, Brett, and Gregory as your first 5. As we see Mertens and Harding move up, Barker's gone right up in front of them. It almost seemed as if though, almost feels as if though Mertens and Harding are trying to get another lane going here with Brett and Gregory and maybe Stanley in the background, but Barker seemed to sense that was happening and did a good job to get in front of it and just stop it without ruining anybody in the process. Got to think that Mertens and Harding are just thinking they've got more speed here than Barker and trying to get in front of him. So we see Logan Howard exits pit lane as the pack comes bounding by him. Will we see Mertens and Harding attempt to go again? Or with 30-ish to go, will we stay where we are? Oh, I need to stop clicking on my iRacing. Apologies. We see quite the gap now opening up between Scott and Boyce from Kale and Howard and Leverage Watkins. Those front 2 cars have opened up quite a gap. Will anyone from the top side dip down and take it? Looks like everyone's happy where they are. Barker, Mertens, Harding and did Marcus Scott go to cover or did he just float up off the side there? As we see in the background, Dylan Cook and Cohen Thompson move out to the top side, trying to get a third lane going perhaps. And Barker now has moved down in front and will claim that bottom side. Mertens gets out. Top lane has the run here. Mark that lap as a Mertens. That'll be his first one with the evening, I believe. As we have a look at our movers and shakers on the timing board. So, we see here, mover and shaker at the moment, Josh Mertens jumps up 20 positions from where he started the night. Harding down 1, Brett up 10, Gregory up 24 stat. Ooh. We haven't gone yellow. I'm really confused. We didn't go yellow, but we've lost the entire lane who were up top. Hadley Boyce, Marcus Scott, Ethan Kale, Matt Howard, Terry Leverage Watkins, Ethan Curran, Stuart Patterson and Matthew Stables are all gone. We're going to leave the entire Iridium Sim Sports cohort are gone. And even the guys who weren't up in the front lane decided, I'll go too. Or actually, no, hold on. They've not crashed. They've gone for a pit, I believe. Yeah, hold on. I've lied here. They've done that intentionally because there's a lot of them working together right now. So, sorry. I looked at SDK. It said crashed. I went, hold on, why are we not yellow? But actually, yeah, if we look there, they've all pitted together. Which might be strat of the year, potentially. So, again, Hadley Boyce, Marcus Scott, Ethan Cale, Matt Howard, Terry Rivers-Watkins, Ethan Curran, Stuart Patterson, Matthew Stables, and it looks like Grover went with them. That's 7 Iridium Sim Sports Hex Energy cars, plus Marcus Scott, who I know is in Discord racing with them, all went together to pit. I can only assume they were needing fuel. Don't think they put it on the last yellow. I cannot remember. But they've all gone together, presumably hoping to get a bit of a train going. So we will keep an eye on things. Of course, they are a lap down, but Mertens, Harding, Brett, Gregory, Barker will all need to pit again. There's been about 20-ish laps since they last. So, let's have a look and see. We'll jump back quickly, and there we go. Boyce, Curran, Howard, Scott, Patterson. The 5 of them all running together. Stables has fallen off that train. Didn't go well for him. Leverage Watkins nowhere to be seen either. So, but 5 of those Iridium boys, 4 of Marcus Scott, honorary Iridium boy for the night, have got themselves together. As we see the lead pack though, barreling down on them, they are going to need to pit at some point if we stay green. But they're going to need to pit if we go yellow as well, but they'd prefer to pit under yellow. So we see Stables making his intentions nice and clear up the top. Just letting that lead pack get around. Ethan Cale's entered pit lane again. Not quite sure what's happened there. He only just went in and came back out. We have a quick ride on board with Lockie Fred behind the 79 of Bryce Harding and the 35 of Josh Mertens. Dylan Cook goes into pit lane now. And we just saw there, right on board with Mertens. You can see up front maybe. You can see up front there, just going around the trial, the nail was that group of Iridium cars that dipped into pits earlier. So this lead pack is flying. We'll need to pit at some stage. No two ways about that one. Stables a lap down, Cook a lap down, Grover a lap down, Leverage Watkins also down, and Curran and Cale. Lead back presumably getting close to needing a fuel stop themselves.
If I was smart, I'd get a calculator out and do maths, but I'm not smart, and it's a Sunday night, and I have to work tomorrow, so I can't really be bothered doing the maths, I'll be completely honest with you. But, based on last pit lap for these cars was 31. So, we have to assume, as we see, the lead pack going past the 52 of Ethan Cale now. We can see that Iridium train again further up the road. Will they have enough speed to stop the pack catching them? Here we go. Called it. So, the lead pack goes. Mertens, Harding, Brett. Oh, lots of checkups in the back, but no, they've all held it together. So, Mertens, Harding, Brett, Gregory, Stanley, Barker, Thompson, Johnston, Harding, whoever missed, King, all into pit lane. So we see Harding out, Gregory out, Brett, Stanley, Millings, Johnston, Thompson, Barker, I think that was King. So, let's see. The Iridium pack who fueled early. Coming into one now, around into two. Will they pick up the teammate on the way through? Terry David Watkins is laps down. Hopefully he'll grab onto the tail with him there, so he'll be part of it. And they have the pace on the cars that have just gone through the pit cycle. So, we start the movements. Will the earlier fuel stop play in the favour of the Hex Energy Iridium Sim Sports team? It's hard to say because those other cars are already getting up to pace. But they're moving through them now. Oh, Barker's moved up and blocked the run. It's gotten real squirrely quickly. That's killed a lot of the momentum they would have had, if any. They've also picked up Curran in the process and one of the Howard brothers. But all the momentum that train had going from the last fuel stop, gone in a flash. I'm going to reverse it. I want to see it again. I'll be honest. Sorry, there's no replay button for me to just click for this one. Oh, I haven't gone far enough. I just want to see it again. So, we see here, Boyce goes to move up with Curran and Howard and Scott. They've got the momentum and they've got the speed. Barker in behind the 054, and he just comes straight up the track right in front of the train that they had going. Boyce has done a great job not to just punt him at that point. He's made contact, but it could have been a lot uglier. And Scott's had to dip down, and you see there, it's all just gotten so messy. Barker ends up pulling out. Messy, messy, messy. Am I biased? Yes. Does that make the move any less unnecessary than what it probably was? No. Let's jump back live. So, the train gets back going. Where are we? Harding our leader, with Gregory and Brett and Stanley. As we see in the background there of this shot, our next group, led by Millings, with the other Harding, Johnston, Thompson, Boyce in there with Scott, Howard, Patterson, Mackenzie, Barker, Stables, all a little bit further back. But will this train have enough go? I would think from here it would be pretty hard to get to Harding. Jump back to the lead four. So that gave us a little bit of a glance at the gap. We jump on board with Boyce as we come around turn 1 and turn 2. We should, in theory, see, we can see that lead group before. So, 13-ish to go. Well, it'd be 12 to go now, with everyone crossing the line. And we have the two different groups going. Harding out front with Gregory, Brett and Stanley. Coming up on lap traffic. We then go back, a 7-second gap. No, it won't be 7 seconds, sorry. 6.8 second gap from Stanley through to Boyce, leading that next train. Gap. Well, everyone's doing the same speed, really, so I don't know if that gap's going to shrink. In fact, yeah, doesn't seem like that gap's shrinking at all. If anything, the gap's getting bigger. So, unless something drastic happens, there will be a battle of these top 4 cars for our finish. Oh, never mind. Daniel Johnston has been caught in something for the third time tonight. Poor guy can't catch a break. He stayed moving too much for me to get a button to click, so we've just got to manually rewind this one. Sorry, everybody. Apologies. Whee. Oh. So, what happened here? So, Daniel Johnston, what happened, sir? That one. So we see the 054 of Thompson right in behind him. .171 in front of Jamie Harding. It looks like Johnson got high a little bit, and then, yeah, right. So Thompson's just, if you don't hit a car square, or a truck, if you don't hit a truck square here at Talladega, and you're just too far off to the left or the right-hand side of that car when you make contact, lift that rear end up just a little bit, and you get a result like that. So Daniel Johnston spins up, and that brings out caution number something. Ugh. 4. Caution number 4 here at Talladega. More interestingly, though, is it groups everyone back together. So, moments before I opened my mouth, I was just saying, well, it wasn't before I opened my mouth because I had opened my mouth. Moments before that caution, I was just saying, Harding, Gregory, Brett, Stanley, they had the momentum and they were actually building the gap on the other cars. But now, with a single caution, when we go green, will be 6-ish laps to go, I imagine. And all of a sudden, the field is back together again. Oh, and I've just had word. So, we may not go race distance. Bossman Xavier has just said the server's only got about 7 minutes left. So, we very well, highly likely will not go race distance here. Ethan Curran now on the lead lap. Gets the lucky dog there. Been waiting a while for that one. Interesting. So, what was the server time set to? Must be 9:20? Oh yeah, that makes sense. 2-hour server. So, yeah. We're not going to hit race distance. We're not going to get anywhere near race distance. And in actual fact, so we are still racing, but we are obviously under caution. We're gridding. So, look, I'm going to be honest with you folks. I don't really know what's going to happen here. Because I've pulled this up just to see where we're at. We're on lap 74. Race set for an hour 20. Oh, 0 minutes left in server, which means we'll finish like this. I believe we might go green for a lap. I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I've had to deal with this situation, but we've potentially been robbed of a great Talladega race finish, which would be a real shame. Okay, it is going to go green, maybe. Pace car pulls off. Are we going to get one lap at least? Surely. Nope. Oh, yeah, we're going green. Okay. We go green at Dega. Everyone's just decided... No, okay, no, we went green and checkered straight away. Never mind. Yeah, so that's how that happens. You go green, but you cross the finish line immediately. So that is the race. Bryce Harding. What do we got? Let's have a look at these results. Wait. What? Has Harding been... What? Has Harding been black flagged over the line? Well, it's given the win to Brett, then Stanley, then Scott, then Boyce, then Millings. It's somehow missed Harding and Gregory? They a lap down? It's given both leaders black flags. The server had a meltdown. Yeah. So Harding crossed the line in first for me. I don't really... We could have, I could have just like added more time to the session. Well, I'm going to leave that for the admins to figure out. There's nobody in the commentary waiting room. I've got no idea what's going on. I think Harding gets the win. There's going to be some manual tidy up in the background on that one. Apologies, folks, for not getting what was shaping up to be an all-time Talladega finish. we will figure that one out. We'll catch you next time, as I believe we now go into so that is the last race of the regular season, and next week we will start the playoffs, or the chase, at Texas for 100 laps, and hopefully the server stays alive for the entire time. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Apologies that we have not had a great one, and we'll catch you next time here on Virtual Racing Aotearoa for the Virtual Racing Aotearoa NASCAR Trucks, brought to you by System Decal.